Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Social Progress Podcast. In this series, I am sharing my in good faith travel adventure testimonies. If you are just catching up, in the beginning of 2020 into 2021 and 2022, I received this still yet silent voice that I was going to travel the 7 nations and the 7 seas to heal the 7 lands and seas as the 7 lands and seas will heal me. In the beginning, I didn't know what that meant, but after completing the journey, I went to 14 states, 18 cities, 2 islands in 18 months, and it's starting to make sense to me what the Holy Spirit, my ancestors, my highest self was calling me to do while traveling. In this episode, I'm going to mash in my testimony with Reno, Nevada and Las Vegas, Nevada. If you guys are interested in traveling throughout the country on a budget, or whether you have the money, if you guys are interested in learning about like grid working, couch surfing, to make travels affordable, this is definitely the video for you guys. So first of all, when I went to Reno, Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada, Reno, Nevada, one of the testimonies that I received there was I was only there for a few days, probably 2 or 3 days. This was around the time when the Holy Spirit was testing my money. I started learning that I was a spiritually targeted individual, which means the enemies know that I am a very high ranking spiritual person in the spiritual realm. I'm still learning and growing in regards to like what this all means to me and how like what happened in between, but I was having money issues, and in the beginning of my travels I had no money issues. My ancestors were like, you weren't supposed to be homeless, you weren't supposed to be struggling with money, like what's going on? There were people out there that was literally trying to like prey on my downfall, as a spiritually targeted person who is now like coming out sharing my testimony. I no longer claim myself as spiritually targeted. It comes with the territory when you are a chosen child, when you are a chosen person, that people will kind of like hate and be envious and jealous. But now the Holy Spirit has been showing me like you're in a position where people are actually like, dude, I once talked shit about your journey, but now I want to travel. Like, I once judged your journey, but now I want to start social media. I once judged your journey, but now I want to start a GoFundMe so that I can be a full-time artist, content creator, storyteller, etc. So I do my best to focus on the positive side of things. Will's also acknowledging like some of the downside of it. So when I was in Reno, Nevada, I was only there for like 2 or 3 days. I was struggling with money, and struggling to get a spot on the Greyhound bus. That night, for any pro tips out there, for any travelers out there, if you're at the Greyhound and the Amtrak station, some Amtrak and Greyhound stations allow you to stay overnight so long as you paid for your ticket, if you don't want to go to a hotel or if you don't have nowhere to go. There are some where there's high crime rates, like in Reno, Nevada, and the security officers, there's no justice, there's no chances because of the high crime rates. That night, I got my ticket for the Greyhound bus, and the security officer there still didn't understand. It was during winter time. This was around December, January. It was cold. It was snowy, and I'm in Reno, Nevada. So this is like icy cold. And I was outside. I was sitting down outside on the couch, on the benches and the tables. And the officer kept on letting us know, like, we can't stick around, we can't stick around. Well, I was fed up with it. I'm a woman. I'm a girl. We're in Nevada. There's liquor stores everywhere. There's people drinking everywhere. There's people gambling everywhere. It's dangerous. One night, there was a truck full of guys, and I was standing up while falling asleep. And they whistled at me, and they turned around to go inside the train station, and I was like, oh no. I was like praying and praying. I was like, Archangel Michael, please. Archangel Michael, protect me. Archangel Michael, spread a hedge of protection over me. And the truck automatically came back out and went away. But before I prayed, I felt this energy like they were going to come bother me, because I was standing up and I was kind of like leaning on like a wall or a parking wall. So I don't know if they thought that I was drunk, I was on drugs or whatever, which I was not on anything. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't doing any substances. I was literally just trying to get to the next spot. After that, I was so afraid. I was like, F it. I'm going to take my chance. If this security guard gives me a problem, I'm going to show him my ticket. I'm going to let him know, like, I'm a woman. I'm alone out here. Like, I need some help. I'm not bothering anybody. I just want to sit inside so I can be safe until my Greyhound bus comes. Sure enough, I sit inside. They leave me alone. They're doing shift change. And then this guy just comes to me and he bugs me and just lets me know, like, I'm about to call the cops. Like, if you don't leave. And I'm saying, sir, please have mercy on me. Like, it's cold outside. It's snowy outside. I'm a girl, etc. And he ended up calling the police. The police ended up talking to me. And the police saw my Greyhound ticket. And they're like, Ms. Cruz, we're going to take you to a homeless shelter. It's going to be safe for you for the night. And then you can come back to get your Greyhound. And I was like, that sounds better than being anywhere else outside. So I end up going over there to the homeless shelter. End up being there overnight. That was one of the first times that I was in a temporary stay. The second time officially was with San Diego Rescue Mission, which is in a previous video. I go to the shelter. It's all for women. It's just one night. I was only there for 1 or 2 days, like 1 full day and a half. And it was time for me to go back to get my Greyhound. So that was a testimony that I had to share there. The police were very helpful. They're very, very mindful. They're very calm, which I was grateful for. The security person was not, but I also understand and have grace for him because who knows what he deals with and what he faces. The way that he treated me criminally before he got a chance to give me a brain break and a breath break in regards to, like, you know, being out there and needing a place to go. The next day, I was on the phone with my childhood friend, one of my childhood friends, Tina, and she was like, hey, I'm here for you. Just let me know if you need anything. Her and her husband invited me into her home. The next day, she found out what was going on. She was like, sis, come to Las Vegas. You can stay with us for a few days. We have the extra spare room here, and you could be here until you leave for your next trip. So I get the Greyhound, I get exited out of the homeless shelter, I get the Greyhound, and I go to Las Vegas, Nevada. I was so grateful to be with a friend, be with somebody familiar, and to be invited in from my childhood best friend, but also from her husband. Sometimes when people are married or in relationships and stuff, it's not just their decision making, it's also the other person's decision making as well. So I'm very shout out to Tin and her husband John for bringing me into their home. It was super awesome. I had my own personal room. I had my own space, temporarily, of course. And it was a good time for me to be with people that I knew after this long travel. Some of the testimonies when I was in Las Vegas, Nevada, that was the first time I went busking. If you guys are familiar with busking, it's a way that people utilize their talents to make money on the side. I had to like fill out this piece of paper to sign up for a location to bus and get that set location. I was there. I did tarot readings and oracle readings for busking. I got a customer. Fun fact, I got one customer. She was an older white lady with another man. And she was asking me, do you think that we're going to stay together as like a unit, like as a couple? And first of all, my testimony, she gave me a ripped dollar. And automatically I was like, my gifts are more worthy and more valuable than a ripped dollar. Like, you're going to have to give me a full dollar. She thought that I was trying to get her to pay me more money. I was just like, I could fart. And that would be a sign for you and your relationship in regards to reading you. I felt like the woman and the man, they're older and they have been together for a long time, but they wanted to explore different options. That wasn't none of my business. I said that it seems like you guys are cool, and that answer is only up to you guys because they weren't giving me any, she just wanted to pay me $1. So I was very short and I was like, it looks like you guys are going to stay together. Which is what I felt. But I also felt like they were questioning themselves in a marriage or in a union, in a relationship. The testimony is I took that ripped dollar and the Holy Spirit told me to go play the machine. I went to go play the pachinko machine, and I won 50 to 60 something dollars from that ripped dollar. I first went to the cashier station, and I said, this dollar ripped, but I don't want to put it in the machine. They gave me a full dollar. I win 50 to 60 something dollars on that $1. And I know that that was the Holy Spirit. That was my ancestors, my grandparents. Like, we want you to be so confident in your gifts. We want you to be so confident in your abilities, to the point where we're going to bless you back just for believing that you're worthy of getting paid to do the things that you love to do. Just to show you that you're worthy of receiving money by doing the things that you love, the things that you're passionate about. I'm passionate about being an oracle. I'm passionate about being a seer because I'm really great at it. And I always like to say it's the grandmothers that said, it's Jesus and the grandmothers that sent me to you. If you're going through some type of experience, some type of adversity, it's Jesus and the grandmothers. I always say that I got prayers that my grandmothers prayed over me since I was a baby child that is still covering me up until today. And I believe that with my mind, my body, and my spirit. So that day I literally won 50 to 60 something dollars off of a ripped ticket. My friend Tin and her husband, they take me out. I was only there for a short stay, and they gave me a little money to play the pachinko. They gave me a little money to make extra money. They gave me a little money for the bus. So I just saved the money to get my next Greyhound. The next day, I was staying with Tina, and it was time for me to leave. I needed to make up more money for my Greyhound ticket. I ended up going to a library, a public library, where across the street was a Buddhist church. I went to the library, first of all, to see if they had any type of resources, financial resources for people who needed help, or going to the church. I went to the church. I told the Buddhist teacher what was going on, how I needed help to get to the next station, and he paid my ticket $144 for my Greyhound ticket for me to get to the next location. 12:44 on the clock, 144 with the 2 in between. At the same time as I was going through these experiences, the Holy Spirit was allowing my divine counterpart to go through the exact same experiences. They were allowing other people to go through the exact same experiences, or the opposite of experiences that I was going through as well. This Buddhist calls his mom, talks to his mom, and is like, go ahead, drink water, you can relax here, stay here for a bit, etc. And the money that I had made up, I used for food, I used for to try and make a little bit more money back. This journey was an in good faith travel adventure. So not a lot of people are going to understand it, but the ones who understand it, like, I was literally taking a leap of faith. I was literally like, I don't know what's going to happen this next moment. I don't know what's going to happen this next second. But all I know is I'm here and I'm making the right decisions and the right choices. This young gentleman ends up paying $144 of my Greyhound. You're going to go to your next location. Good luck in your travel journey, etc. And I'm like, wow. Full circle moment as to how the Holy Spirit works, where the Holy Spirit's working at, and why the Holy Spirit was working in that experience, in that situation. After I got that paid ticket, I went straight to the Greyhound station. I stayed at the Greyhound station. I stayed outside. I'm not missing my bus. I'm not bothering the Greyhound guy. I'm staying out of the way. I literally went to the pachinko to be indoors, the casinos to be indoors. And I was just sitting there on the side for as long as I could, charging my phone. Obviously, they have cameras everywhere, so the security comes after a while that you're sitting down and asks what's going on. you know, where do you need to be, etc., etc. But luckily for me, I was under the radar. They didn't bother me. Time passed. I got in the Greyhound station. I went to my next location, which is like Boise, Idaho, or Oregon. Oregon was the next station that I went to. And it was so cool because if you are a traveler on the Greyhound bus is more affordable than the Amtrak train station. But if you can invest in the Amtrak, I suggest you invest in the Amtrak because it goes everywhere, first of all. Sometimes it's affordable depending on the length of where you're traveling to. But the Greyhound, it gets stuffy. It gets packed. The Amtrak gets packed as well, but at least you have leg room to walk and you have space on the train to walk around. So if you're a traveler, that is a key bonus, a key tip in regards to traveling on public transportation. The Greyhound is not that bad, but I would just prefer the Amtrak over the Greyhound. I would prefer to spend a few more dollars to have the comfort. And also it's cool to take the scenic route when you're on the Greyhound, when you're on the Amtrak train station. That is the testimony for today, guys. This is pretty short, pretty simple. If you guys are still here, I would greatly appreciate you guys giving me a subscribe here, giving me a follow, giving me a subscribe on YouTube. Make sure that you tap on that bell, and so that way you can receive a post notification and you will not miss a video. Let me know any comments or statements in the comment section in regards to like travel tips or your funny, crazy testimonies while you're traveling. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace.